Hey guys, so let me check. You know how technology does for me anyway. I want to invite some people on. As you come on, let me know you're there. Say hey. Let me know you're there. Let's see. Mhm. Hey guys, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's get ready to have this conversation. Okay. Hey Tamal, I hope I'm saying that right. Let me know. I'm not upset if you go phonetic in the comments and let me know if I said it wrong. Because, like I said, my full name is Tarkessa, and so I like to make sure that I say people's names right. So as you guys come in, say hey, give me a hey. Let me know you're there. I'm excited to have this conversation because it's kind of my jam. It's kind of my jam. So as you're coming in, hey Mallory, if you're new to the group, you're kind of new to me. I am Tessa Colvin. I'm a publishing coach and consultant. Okay, I was just making sure. Okay, I'm a publishing coach and consultant, and I take the stress out of book writing. And for my clients who I work with, I help them to have global impact, position their books for six-figure profits, and all of that good and fancy stuff. But my favorite thing to do is to really help raise awareness about books, book publishing, and that world. People tend to get just downright scared when it comes to talking about that. Hey, Marion, as you guys come in, say hey, let me know you're there. Let me know you can hear me, you can see me. And I am just making sure that technology is with me. And there we go. I want to make sure I share it in our event for the day in case people are looking for it there. Live now. Okay, so let's dive into it. I also made an announcement in the event for today. Yeah. So I want to make sure we have time because I don't want to hold people too long. If you're anything like me, you got a million things to do today. So this question came up in the group. I think it was Tamika. Don't quote me. If it was you, Tamika, and I forgot who inspired this, I'm pretty sure it was Tamika. But anyway, so there was a question asked in the group. There was I did a post just asking what questions you had about publishing or writing and so on. And so this is a question that came up in the group. Is it better to self-publish or have a publisher? And so in the exchange in the comments of that, I asked, I said, I just put it out there. It depends. It really depends. It depends on what you're trying to do with your audience. If you're trying to solve a right now problem, you have to think of it. I don't know how many people in here are familiar with media and news cycles and all of that. But TV or television, for the most part, a lot of it is planned and plotted, right? Like, of course, we have some right now news events that get covered, but there's other bits and pieces that are just pre-planned. They're planned way in advance. Stories that are special interest around breast cancer awareness. Well, they usually try to fit those into months, cancer awareness month, or one of the actual, because sometimes it's just an overall cancer awareness month that they might try to fit different things in. And so I'm not saying you have to be writing about cancer. What I am saying is that it depends on how and how fast you're trying to serve your audience. So if you are someone who has built your audience, you've built your platform. I know someone in particular in here in this group has a massive following, and they've been working to build that for a long time. And so there are certain things that they go out and they ask their audience, like, hey, what is it that you need? And then they create it, which, that's really a good way to do it. When you're in the world of nonfiction, if you're meeting a right now need, like your audience is built on, Danae, I think I'm saying that right. Like I told, I'm going to say Tamel, I love it. Spell it out phonetically if I said it wrong. I like to get people's names right. I'm totally cool with that. I won't be like, no, she didn't. But so here's the thing. If your audience has said to you, this is what I need. These are the messages that I love from you. This is what inspires me when you go live. This is what inspires me when you write posts and blog posts and things like that. And you are now tapping into that and you want to serve your audience, then the reality is traditional publishing is likely not for you, because there are such things. There's a little thing we call publishing cycles and rotations. And so, hey, LaWanda, while you may have signed a contract today, it's very possible that your book won't be out for 12 months or 18 months because they have publishing schedules. They have promotional things that they have already mapped out, that will prevent you from saying, my book will be out. I signed the contract today. My book will be out next week. That's just not usually the reality. That is not to say I am not anti-traditional publishing or publishing house or publisher. I am not. The way that I support people is different. I help people own their message. I don't own any part of my client's message. I don't, and I'm proud of that. They're not having to run things. Well, they run things by me because of my expertise, but they're not having to get things approved from me about their brand. One of the stories I tell people all the time, at the beginning of the year, I did a book project called The Money Code and How to Crack It. And I had hand selected some people to speak to money and the issues that people have with money. Hey, Janelle, where you been? But I'm gonna let it go. I won't be petty. So I handpicked these people to be in this book. And there was one guy, he reached out to me, and I won't say his name because I'm not going to do him like that, but big guy, big time, guru, loved the project, could not be a part of it because he signed a contract with a publisher and it came with exclusivity clauses, meaning that any words that he put down, they owned. So he couldn't be a part of the project. And so it's little things like that that you have to consider, hey, Tanya, that you have to consider when you think self-publish versus publisher. Now, I'm a creative. And so when it comes to my world of fiction, there have been times when I partner with traditional publishers. Notice I said partner. Someone that, Mallory, I know you know who I'm talking about, someone that I just absolutely adore. Her name is Melissa. She's a fiction author for Christian romance now. And she recently had the opportunity to partner with, with a publishing company. And there's a difference when you understand the ins and outs of publishing. There are certain things you can negotiate. You can say, well, you know what? I want my ebook rights. I know I want my ebook rights, but let's discuss print rights, right? I have a client who recently partnered with a publishing company to help promote and push her print. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, but she owns her ebook rights. That is also a big deal. So it's things like that. That's why I say the word partner. Hey, Raquel, partner. It's different when you are under contract versus partnering with a publisher. Under contract means essentially you are one of their stapled authors, and they're going to distribute your information when time permits. You have people in the pipeline in front of you. That's the reality. You know, you have some people who paid their dues. They waited their 12 months, their 18 months, and now it's their time. They're up, and the tour machine is focusing on them. They're up, and the promotions machine is focused on them. And that's how it works. Nothing against that. But again, if you can, partner versus be under contract with a publisher. Another person that I know, am I gonna say her name? I'm not. Mallory, I know you know who it is, but she is, well, you know what? I'm gonna say it because she's told this story and I don't think it'll be an issue. Bella Andre. She has an amazing series, like a bunch of them, but she really blew up writing a series, it's fiction, romance, called The Sullivans. Is it the Sullivans? Yeah, that's right. So what I know is that, hey, Camilla, hey, Jody, is that she is another person who negotiated for her print rights to be under the control, use that term loosely, of the publishing house. So they were partnered. They were partnered. I am a big proponent of, I teach this all the time. Tanya's on here, Tanya, and any of my other clients on here. You got to own your words. There is nothing worse than having a message and then being told what to do and how to do your message. That is what I try to help people avoid. So even sharing this, I am not telling you that the traditional publisher or having a publisher is not the way to go. What I am saying is know what you're signing and know your options. When a contract comes to you from a publisher, if it's not fixed or handed off to you in a way that says this is a negotiation, I would tell you to be very careful. Be very careful. What are you trading off for the opportunity to say, or for the option of saying that my publisher is so-and-so? There is nothing wrong with being a self-publisher. There's nothing wrong with having a book self-published. The days of that stigma, long gone. Some of the best books that I've ever read were independent. Some of the best books that I have ever read have been independent. I don't know if you guys know who Amanda Hocking is. Amanda Hocking is someone who hit the $1 million club. Amazon, I don't think they still have it. They used to have $1 million club, and it was a posting of authors' names who have hit $1 million on their platform. Amanda Hocking hit $1 million selling 99-cent ebooks. That means she sold over 1 million ebooks at 99 cents. That's a big deal. When she did that, she knew the formula. She did it again. And then St. Martin's Press came for her. They came to her like, hey, you've got something, because it was easy. It was easy for them to step in. She already had an audience. She already had she was writing books like, 60K, 120K word books in her sleep because of her imagination and her understanding her messaging and what people wanted from her. So what happened was, I want to say they went into a private bidding war. And so again, Mallory, I know you know how this works. Some of you, this may be new to you. You've never heard this. Publishers will go into a bidding war. When people are like, hey, St. Martin's wants you, Simon & Schuster, like, I want you too. They will go into a bidding war. That's not a bad thing to have happen. And I can't remember the numbers. Don't quote me. You guys can Google it. But I want to say she signed, maybe multiple millions or maybe $1 million. I don't know. I want to say it was multiple millions because they had to make it appealing. If she'd already made $1 million or $2 million, it had to be appealing for her to sign over some portion of her rights, right? Because think about it. Remember, you guys know I got these degrees back here. I'm a business person, right? It had to be, you see my baby back there? That's okay. So this is my editor and my work buddies back here. But yeah, they had to make it appealing for her. Because if I've already made $2 million, you can't come to me and say you're going to give me $2 million because I already did that. So I've seen her books in Walmart. I've seen her books in Barnes & Noble. And again, she started out self-publishing. And as a matter of fact, I thought you could see them because they're like bumping into my chair back here. But anyway, so here's the thing. And I want to tell you this. I'm so glad you guys are on here. She self-published her very first book with the hopes of earning $300 to go to a writer's conference that was a couple of cities away. She's like, you know what, hit publish, because she was hoping to make $300 and ended up making $2 million plus. At this point, plus, but on her own, she made $2 million because she was like, screw it, I'm doing it. At the very least, I'll be able to give someone gas money to get me there. And here we are. I'm not going to fuss at y'all today, but here we are. Several of you haven't written your books and you've got tons of information. You've been researching it on YouTube University and Google University for years. Time out. Let's do it. Come and bring it on back. Janelle, that was for you. I'm just going to be petty and tell you that was for you. I love you. So here's the thing. I'm petty with a purpose, though. So here's the thing. There are pros and cons, as with any relationship, to going the publishing route, okay? There are so many different things to consider when self-publishing. When you self-publish, it's just that, self-publish. You have to either hire or learn how to do a lot of stuff. Janelle, you said using CreateSpace, Amazon, or another self-publishing tool. Amanda used Amazon, well, it was KDP. She used KDP. And then she put it on Smashwords. For you guys that don't know about Smashwords, check them out. That's how, excuse me, that's how you distribute to iTunes, Kobo, Sony, Library Direct. Library Direct is a big deal. That means libraries can pick up your ebook. We're just not out here in the streets peddling books out of the trunk of our cars. Self-publishing is a very sophisticated process. It can put you in some of the same places and spaces as T.I. and Tiny book. I'm just saying. I don't know why I threw that out. Somebody need to hear that. I don't know. Okay. Janelle, I told you I'm a confirming spirit. You know I know, right? Okay, we're not going to do this on live. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, so self-publishing is not like it used to be. Sometimes we think about self-publishing and we think everybody's pulling a Master P. We got a trunk full of books out here and we, you know, dapping people up at the store like, hey, brother, sister, would you buy my book? No, it's not like that. It's not even like back in the days for my poets who are in here. It's not even like creating a chapbook for your poetry. Like when I tell you I've been in this game a long time, I've been in this game a long time. All of those things have shifted, right? All of those things have changed. Self-publishing is a business. Self-publishing actually tipped the scales for Amazon because they were able to secure content that wasn't anywhere else and put it in their marketplace. Amazon is the biggest, I don't know who needed this, is the biggest search engine / store in the world. Amazon is a search tool. It is the go-to tool for searching stuff. We think Google, it's not. Because Amazon not only gives you back, when you put in a query in Amazon, it not only gives you a listing, but it gives you products to choose from. That's what makes it so powerful. This is real life. It's a business. And if you utilize the business properly, like we know through Amanda Hocking, you can make millions from your book. Now, those are book sales. I teach slightly different because I'm not trying to have you out here trying to push 99-cent ebooks. That's the reality of what I do. I'm trying to help you to sustain your message by furthering it, by having global impact, by being a keynote speaker. Keynote speakers that's not a love offering, people. Nothing against people taking love offerings. I'm just saying, I want you to see the big business of it. This is why it's global impact, okay? This is why it's global impact. Keynote speakers, they're like, yeah, I'll come, but I don't travel anything less than business class. I'm going to need a suite. I'm going to need a concierge at the hotel. And yes, I'll be there and I'll give my all and I'll share my message with your people, your platform. Also, because I'm the keynote speaker, I need to know if I can sell from the stage, or if you're going to split these ticket sales or wherever you are, maybe you want to split the bar, whatever. Or if I'm going to be able to sell my books. Business cards don't do that. Right? That's how you get 6 figures. I have a client. She's not on right now, I don't think. I have a client. We got so crystal clear on her message for her book that she raised up and was like, wait a minute, I'm not charging the right prices for consulting. I was like, I do all of this. I know all of this. I've been doing this for years. I was like, agreed. We got off the phone. We had to test a pep talk like this. We got off the phone. She had I don't want to call it a sales call, but it was for a company. It was a consult for a company. Right there, 5-figure contract. And they were paying for her travel and her room for her to come and teach at their company. All of this comes from knowing your message. And when you self-publish, there's no limitation as to how you can re-facilitate your message. Remember the guy I told you about at the beginning? He wanted to be a part of my project, and he should have, because it was awesome. But he couldn't, because all of his words belonged to someone else, even words he hadn't come up with, all to say that I signed with XYZ publisher. That's not good enough for me. For me, it may be best for you. Maybe you don't want Atessa cracking the whip on you and telling you when to submit your content so that we can get your book done. Maybe you don't want Atessa in your corner telling you, listen, your book is not just to be passed out at your church or at the local community center. It's to put you on stages to help even more people. Maybe you don't want that, and that's cool. Hey, Tamika. Hey, Andrea. I know you guys just hopped on. I'm going to wrap it up so you can check it out from the beginning. But either path has its pros and cons. Like I said, when you self-publish, you got to wear a lot of hats. You are the creative director if you're not the creative department, right? If you are self-publishing, you have to know your message. You have to know that you know. You have to not get caught up in imposter syndrome. You have to not get caught up in comparison syndrome because someone said something slightly similar that kind of looked like what you said, and you can't get caught up in that. You got to know that you know, because you're leading the charge when you're self-publishing. When you have a publisher, you have someone that's kind of feeding you and bringing you along the way. It's a difference. Yes, there's teams and resources available on each side, but you have to decide as a self-publisher, are you leading teams or are you being led by a team of publishers when you go the publisher route? Okay, let me know if this is making sense to you guys. I didn't mean to preach, but somebody on here needed it. I feel you in my belly. Like I got butterflies. Somebody's like, oh, she's talking to me, but you don't want me to call your name out like I did Janelle. But we got a different relationship. I wouldn't do you like that unless it was necessary. So let me know if it's making sense. Let me know your questions. Let me know what other questions come up for you. Self-publishing people, one of the things I've had people say is that I'm supposed to pay you to self-publish. It doesn't cost to self-publish over here. Well, that's fine. How much time are you willing to pay? Are you willing to pay time? Like, I'm a GIMP genius. Do you know what GIMP is? It's like Photoshop, but it's free. Can you create a cover in GIMP? I can. And I have a designer. I have a designer that I pay so that my clients bring the talent. I tell them all the time, Tanya's on here. I don't know who else is on here, but I know Tanya, you... I'm not calling you out on the low, Tanya. But Tanya knows I have a team. I have people. She talked to me. I relay her vision. That's it. She don't have to manage my editor. My editor rocks, by the way. She don't have to manage my designer. I am the book whisperer. They tell me what they need. I translate it to all the moving parts. But guess what? Those moving parts cost. That's why you have to pay me. So if you fall into that trap of self-publishing doesn't cost, that's not true. It cost me a lot of times. Do you think it was cheap or free for me to publish 19 books in 6 years? It took a lot of time. I was up late nights like I was cramming for tests. I was trial and error. All of that, learning about the SEO of titles, learning how to search Amazon to figure out the language that my clients, the language that my readers would cling to, right? That's process. If you don't have the time to do that, you need to talk to me, because I know how to do that. I can support you through it without you having to spend 6 years on YouTube University. You don't have time for that. And you know who else doesn't have time for that? Your reader. I know y'all hear this every time I come on here. They are Googling right now, and it's like them calling 911 and nobody's answering. They don't have time for you to figure out how to design a book cover. They don't have time for you to figure out proper semicolon placement. They don't have time for that. They need the information. They need the information. So don't spend a lot of time even trying to decide self-publishing versus a publisher. There's a whole other part of that. I want to wrap it up really quickly, but there's a whole other part of securing a publishing contract. You don't just go knock on their door and say, read my book. You'll hit the slush pile. Ask me what it is. It's where your book goes when they didn't ask you for that. They throw it over in a pile, right? There's submission standards. Have you checked the submission guidelines, or are you just hoping that by osmosis, someone is going to look at you and say, I bet your book is awesome, and they're going to want to pick it up? It doesn't work that way. Just like you can't pick up the phone to get right to me, you'll get my receptionist, unless you're my client. There was a process even for people to become my client. It's the same thing that happens with publishers. Some of them want you to have a literary agent. Some literary agents want you to pay them up front before they do work for you. Some literary agents want you to pay for the editor that they're going to secure for you to make your book up to par for them to even put your book out there. And let the editor know, let the publisher know, hey, I have a client that I think their book will be a good fit for your firm. Right? Some literary agents take 15% commission, some take 20%. Is that something that you're willing to pay up front when you haven't gotten any money yet? I mean, these are things that you have to think about. Okay. Danae, you said, how do I find an editor? I have an editor on staff, but she's not someone that just outsources. There are plenty of places. I'm sure there's, last time I checked, there were groups on Facebook for editors who were looking for jobs. You can always Google, but know what kind of editor you need. I think I did a live in the group, y'all keep me honest, where I was just explaining the difference between a line editor, a proofreader, and it's another kind of editor, I can't remember, a technical editor, where they make sure that your plot and all of that line up, especially if you're writing fiction. You want a technical editor because they're going to help you to remember what superpowers you said this person had in chapter 1, especially when you get into chapter 40. Okay? So I know I did a lot, so I'm going to do a quick summary, because I know some people are hopping on. But self-publishing versus having a publisher, it's your choice. Do you want to self-publish and lead the team to supporting your message getting out, or do you want to have a publisher who has a team that leads you and lets you know when and how your message gets out? Okay, I'm not against that at all. I'm just saying you have to look at all of the moving pieces. You can't just walk in and say, hey, you're going to be my publisher. It doesn't work that way. And then you have to know the difference between a press, a small press, and a publisher. These are real life things. When I think publisher, I think big house. Big house is what I call them. Big traditional publishers. Simon & Schuster, St. Martin's. It's a bunch of them. Well, it's really not. It's like 5 or 6. But those are the names that I think. Those are the names that I think of. Now, you have some small presses out here. You got like Dark Horse Press. You have things like that. You have to decide what works the best for you. My people who I am called to teach and support, I felt like I was about to preach right there. My people who I am called to teach and support, I am all about them owning their message because it's so important to me, because it's important to them. They know that people can't wait for their message another 3 years until somebody says all the I's are dotted. They know that. They know that there are people right now who are debating on if they should commit suicide, and they don't have 12 months. They know right now some woman somewhere is trying to decide, am I going to leave or am I going to stay? Do I deserve better? So they don't have time to wait. They know that someone is about to walk away from the business they dream of because it's getting a little tough, because it's the holidays and the money ain't rolling in. They don't have time to wait. So that's why I'm a proponent of self-publishing. Doesn't mean I have never partnered with a publisher in the past. Sure have. And if the situation and contracts and negotiations presented themselves in the future, I'm gonna do it again. But I have terms that are non-negotiables. One thing for me is exclusivity rights. I'm a creative. That doesn't work for me. I got 13 books in my head right now, and I have a list of works in progress it's like 56. I'm gonna always make money off of my creativity, always. I can't have someone telling me to stop creating. That doesn't work for me. So I just want to do a quick chat and chew. They still do those in corporate, like lunch and learns. Anyway, I just want to come on real quick and talk about that, answer any questions that came up. Let me know if you guys, hey Jim, I'm about to wrap it up so you can catch the replay. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know. And also, oh shoot, I forgot the big, hey, okay, so Jim has been with me for a minute and she knows I'm a country girl. I love for you guys to come on and give me a big hey, like a hey, let it linger. That's my thing. I forgot to let you guys know. So I dropped a message into the event. If you didn't see it, go check it out. I'm opening an academy. Get That Book Done Academy. I've never done that before. I'm opening the academy because it's very important for me that people understand why I teach them to write the way that they are writing, why it works, because I'm a teacher at heart. I can't help it. I need you to understand why you're doing this strategy, because essentially it's something you can always do. Every time you are called and pulled to write a book, you can reuse this information, right? So the academy, it's different. It's different for me. One of the main things I want you to understand about the academy is that it's a 1 year membership support, 1 year. So you have a monthly call with me where I get to snap your shorts with love and say, what are you doing? Last week you were going to do so-and-so. You know, what's going on with that? There's over 30 different resources in there. Oh, this is good. Who asked that question? Danae. I have a list of trusted resources in there. I forgot about that. I have a list of trusted resources, editors, different kinds of editors that I've worked with in the past personally. They're not staffed by me. I don't get any type of referral fee or anything like that. I'm telling you who I trust, right? There's designers, formatters, they're all in there because some people just want to go it alone, and that's fine. But I'm still going to try to love you and support you, even where you are. I'm not going to make you let me hold your hand, but I will give you some tools to make it easier. That's just me. If you haven't figured it out by now, that's just me. I want to help. I want to serve. And I want you, that's why I was even born, right? I was born for this. I was born to fall down and scrape my knees so you don't have to. So whether it's working with me one-on-one, hanging out with me at the retreat, whether it's you being a part of my Leverage Collective, or it's this membership, the Get That Book Done Academy, you're going to get your book done. I am going to do everything that I can to make sure that that happens. So a couple of other things about the academy. The academy, like I said, we got monthly calls. We have a secret, not just a private, a secret Facebook group for support because I'm big on community. It's hard to write by yourself. It is. You get distracted, you get shiny object, you overthink it, and then you overthink it again. You dive off and you do other things like, you know, some guru tells you to write out your book on a Post-it note, so you try that. I don't know, different things, when the main thing that you need to do is remember who you're talking to and have a conversation. Just that simple. So this is why this is created. I wanted to make sure that you guys understood I'm opening it up technically for Black Friday. I'm doing a series. I'll drop a special link that gives 60% off for this, but I wanted to make sure that you guys knew I want to open it up here. If you want to enroll now at the 60% off for Black Friday, that's fine. You're in this space. You're here for a reason. It's not a mistake. I don't believe in coincidences or mistakes. This is for you. This was created for you. Everything that I create is based off of the conversations we have inside of this container because I'm that serious about what I do. So let me know if you've got questions about that. If you go over and click the link, you're going to see the price there. It's cool. Just message me. Say, hey, Tessa, I want my 60% off. Where's my link? And then I'll send it over to you. But what I didn't want to do is just bombard the group with a bunch of links and get everybody confused. So if you go out there and you read through the information on the Academy and you decide, you know what, Tessa created this for me, I'm moving, I want my 60% off though, message me. You know what to do. So let me make sure I got everybody covered. Jimmy, you said you can write 2 books in a year. Yes, you can. And you said Tessa is incredible at what she does. I've learned so much. Don't make me cry. I'm a thug. Don't make me cry. Crystal, I know what I want to say, but deal with articulation. Will you help with that? Crystal, I got you covered. I'm not going to teach down a rabbit hole right now, but yes, I have exactly the way that I teach people to outline will take care of that for you. And the way that I teach people to write. It's not just about hitting some points on an outline, but the way that I teach people to write, it makes it easy because it's a conversation. We talk to people all the time. If we counted all of the words like this live stream, I don't know how many words I've said. I'm just having a conversation. I'm just telling you what I know. It's easy. You can do that. That's what a good book is. People say, I want to write a good book. That's what a good book is. That's my definition. Just have a conversation with me. Don't shake your finger at me. Don't teach at me. Don't preach at me. Just have a conversation with me. Meet me where I am. Let's talk it through. If you've got insight on how I can step over some barriers and break through some stuff, let's do that, right? Okay. So, okay, Tamika, the link is I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to spell it right first. Get That Book Done Academy. I think I'm going to spell it right. See where I have an editor? Yeah. Okay. So the link is real simple. Get That Book Done Academy. Okay. She said, where's the link? I missed it. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. So the link is out there. I can't help it, Rock. Look, I called you Rock. I used to work with a girl. Her name was Raquel, and her nickname was Rock. So charge it to my head, not my heart, if you don't like that. Okay. So I'm going to wrap it up, guys, and let some people go back and catch the whole replay because I hope this sets you on fire and inspires you to not give up. I had someone I was talking to earlier who's in the group, and they were saying they were deflated. Don't be deflated. Every setback is a setup. It's a setup. You got this. You may have been set back a little bit because you weren't thinking big enough. You may have been set back a little bit because you were operating in fear. But everything that you've gone through to this very moment, it's a setup. You are a superhero. You are designed to save lives. That is why you run into so many obstacles, so many challenges, because depending on what you believe, I'm just going to speak for me, because the enemy does not want you to show up in your full power. Because if you do that, the lives you will save, he would be in trouble. The game-changing knowledge that is just in your DNA. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. And y'all will make me preach. I'm going to go. But yeah, drop any questions you have in the group. You guys know, just tag me. I'm in there checking it out. I have my assistant in there. So if you guys see Norby and you've got questions, you can tag her, tag me, and we'll take care of you. Okay. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Have a great rest of your day.